Nope.
Okay, it sounds like you know him. You got anything to say?
No,
Say whatever you want about him.
His show sucks. No,
What
thank
else?
you.
Tell me more. Tell me more. You want to call him any
He
names?
sucks too because he's degrading to women, and I don't like him.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your comment.
Wait! Why would somebody think that?
She doesn't like you.
Why would somebody think that?
I'm gonna stick this up your ass sideways, you bother my dog one more time.
I'm sorry. I won't.
And that'll go up your ass that way. Get off.
Okay, we'll take this picture. Yeah, okay. We're leaving. Boo! I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Let's just go fast.
This is the story of a man that lived his dream the only way he could. A man that started in radio, moved on to driving taxis, and went on to create a public access television program unlike anything St. Louis had ever seen. He exposed his skewed view of the world to anyone that would watch, and throughout he created whatever controversy he could, even in death. This is P.E.P.
Country called the First Amendment, which means I get to speak to these folks and they get to hear me.
Peter Elias Parisi. Who is this man? Some say shockmaster, some say freak of nature, some say brilliant genius. How did this man reach cult figure status? Let us start from the beginning.
He was born on December the 4th, 1947. In Jersey City, New Jersey, and he lived the first 4 years in West New York, New Jersey, and then up until he went to college, he lived in Richfield, New Jersey. He went to Emerson College.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't finish. He quit in his third year, the end of his third year, and he worked for Mr. Miller. Gave him a job in Massachusetts as a disc jockey, but then he worked for Mr. Miller from Massachusetts and then all the way into St. Louis. And that's how come he was in St. Louis, because they brought him from Massachusetts to St. Louis.
Was brought in to do 7 to midnight. Pete had his green Pinto and Bertram number 1. And Pete came into the studio. I was on the air. It was probably late at night. And Pete, at the time, looked more like this is a term that a lot of people don't know so much anymore, but he's more of a beatnik in appearance than a hippie. Beatnik meaning a goatee and not necessarily long hair. And he came in and just started talking right away. He had Bertram, and he told me that how he and Bertram had kind of bonded on this trip. So right away I knew, wow, this is a unique person. Well, it was an interesting working relationship because Pete was my boss, the program director, and as a boss, he sometimes had to apply rules, and this was the early 70s, and I was pretty much a free spirit, and so I aggravated him quite a bit sometimes, usually having to do with things I was either doing or playing on the radio. Pete is a rider and a driver. He would spend hours and hours. We would do that too. We would drive together in his little Pinto. I'd get off of work. I was working 7 to midnight in those days. Pete would come by at midnight. We'd hop in his car and drive around, listen to the radio station. Pete, most of the time, was driving around in his car listening to me when I was on the radio. So occasionally I'd play something that I wasn't supposed to play or he didn't like, and we didn't have car phones or cell phones yet, and a lot of times I'd get this phone call from Pete. It'd be breathless because he would hear something and he would go into a frenzy. Why did he play that? And he'd drive as fast as he can to find a phone booth and call me up on the hotline at the radio station. What is that? What are you playing that? What are you doing this to me for?
During the radio days, Parisi enjoyed a 5-year marriage, which ended due to her childbearing complications, and because he suddenly lost his job. He couldn't find another gig in that field, so he entered another.
It suited him, and Pete did. He liked to collect unusual experiences and unusual people, and he liked to go unusual places. He knew the city very well. He knew it extremely as well as anybody, and where unique places to go, different restaurants, just sights around, strange museums, and things that a lot of people didn't know about St. Louis.
Even though Pete found a job that met some of his needs, his life was in shambles. He couldn't find a job in radio, and his wife left him. What saved him was a camera. In 1985, on a whim, he purchased a video camera and began taping whatever he could. What resulted was every day I use up a year's worth of luck. In 1986, he noticed an ad on TV requesting submissions for shows on St. Louis's new cable TV public access channel. He submitted his tape, which was subsequently aired. After that, people began noticing him on the streets, and he knew he had something. His show became Worldwide Magazine, which went on to average one new show a month for the next 15 years.
Today on Worldwide Magazine, there are more stars than in the heavens, as we present another all-star gala edition, featuring Big Daddy, Steve Bailey, Miss Kathy, Watt Davis, Marty, and Marty's brother Mark, the professional announcer, and Denise. No one higher! Yes, the drama, the spectacle, the pageantry, all for you. A cavalcade of unbelievable entertainment. A true spectacle. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another edition of Worldwide Magazine. You know, I've been meaning to get the copyright clearance for this movie. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I gotta do that tomorrow morning, first thing.
It definitely was not the most professional program, but as far as content goes, it was like nothing else on at the time.
I got something that makes me want to shout.
I think Pete's appeal was the fact, and I'm sure you're going to hear this from everybody, was that he wasn't afraid to try stuff or to ask questions or to get in people's faces or to do ridiculous things that other people would say, why is he wasting his time? But here again, like I said before, there are things that you'll watch and think, boy, this is dumb, and you'll think about it a week later. Well, it wasn't that dumb if it made an impression on you. And I think he had a really good sense of what would be bizarre, what would be macabre, what would be out there, over the edge.
Boy, this is really something. I'm really having a great time. I just really love kids, especially when they're well done. They're the best. Ain't that right? You know about that, don't you? Since everybody calls me Stinky, I'm going to stink this place up.
I think it's nice to have a nice, loving family.
Nice, loving family, yeah, I'll say. Where's my puppy at? Where's my pup? Just as I suspected. Just as I suspected. Now I need to stop for hunting. Are you crazy, man? You're only supposed to eat Korean dogs, not American dogs. What the hell's wrong with you?
So basically the production days where you guys would just get together and go somewhere.
Actually, it was like just a kind of a party or something.
Like you guys just hanging out?
Yeah, and we just have fun with it. And the best stuff was the stuff that we had fun with, the stuff where you're really trying hard. That stuff usually doesn't turn out too good.
Night, and he asked me to ask you a question.
What's that?
He said, what do you like best about crack?
It's good to me. One more question then. How do you become a U.S. Senator without knowing how to read English?
I don't know why. Oh, I don't know why. Oh, yeah, my third. Oh, yeah, my third. Oh, yeah. Take it all. Take it the fire. Take it all. I know why. Oh, I don't know why. My third. Oh, yeah, my third. Oh, yeah, my third. Oh, yeah, my third. Oh, yeah.
You know how it feels when you gotta
drink
go
your
pee
pee-pee.
real bad. Here, feel me and tell me if I gotta go pee.
He was so different than what was on television anywhere. I I mean, some of what he did was similar to things that had been done before with Candid Camera and all that sort of stuff. But the thing about Pete's show was Pete. P.E.P, you know, and all this weird cast of characters that grew up around him. All these people who wanted to be on the show. I don't know where they came from or how they found him. You know, there's the big guy, what was his name, Marty, and the wrestler, and the Mad Russian, and just every kind of nutball in the city you could imagine showed up at Pete's doorstep to be on that show. And it was interesting to see these St. Louisans that you normally wouldn't see on television talking about St. Louis. I mean, it usually wasn't very flattering to them or to the city, but, you know, they're out there, and it was a viewpoint we hadn't seen before.
Jimmy, turn around. Do a little song for us, a little Italian song, or a little American song. Do something for us. Come on, get your throat all ready. Here, sing a little song. Go ahead. Little song, Jimmy. Come on, baby. Come on, grab the mic. Little song. He's getting ready now. He's getting the beat from the ice and the Coca-Cola. Now here he goes, ladies. John Vitale. Sing a little song. Okay, back up now. Back up. Go ahead, sing.
Turn around, look up here. Take time to make time to be there. Look around, way across. Feel for the wind, but don't have a cold.
Along with his cohorts and the obvious irreverent humor, Parisi used music, mainly 1920s and 30s jazz, to draw people in.
The other thing that he was very impressive with was the music. He had a vast collection of music and was familiar with all of it. He could watch a scene and he would think of something, he'd run down his basement, come back with a record. The music would just be perfect for what he was trying to show, so he was very good in those areas.
White power! He believed in the white race, period. It's that simple. White power! White power! That simple. And it's sad. Sad. Because he was right.
Parisi's editing talents were also evident early on through his use of music and clips of old television programs, films, and commercials.
Well, about the O.J. Simpson trial. What do you think of it? I know it's kind of a repetitious type of question. Have you heard it over and over? What do you think of his innocence or guilt? Guilty. You think we ought to be scalping him because we're half. I'm half Indian. You're full blood. What do you think?
I don't know about that. I have no.
Yeah, I know. Well, I understand that. I understand. We'll keep it to ourselves.
Cherokee people, Cherokee tribe, so proud to live, so proud to die. They took the whole Indian nation, locked us on this reservation.
And now a brave from the Hebrew tribe.
Hi, you an Indian?
No.
You're not an Indian?
No.
Why not?
I don't know.
Why are you dressed up like an Indian for?
Fun.
It's fun to dress up like an Indian?
In the dance, it's fun.
What do you think? I was going to ask an Indian this question, but I'll have to ask you, being you're not an Indian. What do you think about these sports teams that have Indians as mascots?
I don't really like it. I think they shouldn't make their names on Native American people.
Why?
It's degrading.
Why is it degrading?
I don't know. Just.
You don't know, but it is, huh?
Yeah.
Well, shouldn't you know if you think it is? Actually, probably the reason you're against having Indians as mascots is because somebody told you about it, right?
Yeah.
What's the objection? What's the problem?
They kind of make fun of.
Okay, okay. How does it do that?
Like Chief Illini Wick dances.
Who's that?
The Illini mascot for Illinois. He dances and he has a Chiefs bonnet. And Chiefs. He has a Chiefs bonnet and Chiefs don't dance.
Oh, they don't? Okay, you know about that?
Yeah.
This guy here knows. Hi.
What do you mean?
I need to ask a question. I know that Indian people are really against Indian mascots for sports teams. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just trying to find out. I'm not disagreeing with that in any way, but I'd like to find out what is the reasons, because I always thought, like, that it was honoring Indians.
No, it's not. It's insulting.
Okay, tell me.
It's just insulting.
Well, how?
It's just common sense. It's insulting. You guys are through. You guys are out of here. Let's go.
Who are you?
I'm the arena director. You guys are out.
The arena director?
Yeah.
For who?
For this dance.
Oh, really?
You guys are done. Close it off. Go. Now.
Why?
Because I said so.
Okay, can I ask you why? Oh, we're leaving.
Because I'm the arena director.
Well, that's not how
I have 15 men here to knock the dog shit out of these guys. Let's go. Time to go. Now.
You don't have to threaten us, sir.
Now.
We heard what you said. We heard what you said.
Let's go.
We're going. We're going.
Don't touch me.
Shut it off.
It is off.
Shut it off. We're leaving.
Right here. Go. Now.
Okay, goodbye. Hello.
Go.
We are. Let's go. Don't push me, mister.
Move it.
I can take care of myself, too, and you shouldn't push me. You said you're safe. There's no need for violence. Right? There's no need for violence, is there? Out now.
Okay, goodbye.
Please, Mr. Custer.
Were you looking for the guy? Well, you don't know what he looks like.
He's a real big guy with pimples.
We're out of the arena, sir. We don't have to leave the field.
You want me to get security out here to get you out, or you want me to get you out? What do you want? Out. Now.
Can we get our friend?
I'll get him. Out.
Well, how do you know who he is?
His name is Dave. Get your ass out of here.
Yeah, but his name is Dave Perry. There's probably a lot of Daves in there.
Move your ass, man.
I'm telling you, his name is Dave Perry. That's all.
Out of here, okay?
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Let's go.
But we came with a guy.
I'll send him out. Move it.
I'm just telling him what he asked. He's
Get up some steps. Get up some steps.
You're really pushing your luck, mister. Am I? Yeah. You try me? No, I don't want to try it. We're not doing anything. We're not doing anything, but you're pushing us and curving at us. Move. You're in 100 feet. For what? Just walking upstairs like you said.
Go.
You made a presentation?
Go.
Thanks.
Bye. What was that all about?
Take it easy, Pete. Here he comes.
You turn that son of a bitch on me one more time and I'm gonna face up, pal.
You want to go? Let's do it.
I didn't ever want to express anything. I haven't expressed any need to fight you, mister.
You know, Dave, we're driving on Forsyth now at Skinker, and I'll tell you, those people were a bunch of savages. They were savages. From the land of sky blue water, Ham's the beer refreshing. Ham's the beer refreshing. Savages. All savages.
On the land of sky blue water, on the land of pines, rocky Balsam, comes the beer refreshing, Ham's the beer refreshing.
Ham. The show gained a cult following of people that ran the gamut, yet apparently no one was watching.
I'm Governor Ashcroft, and I've never watched Worldwide Magazine.
Hi, this is Jerry Mathers, the Beaver. And when I'm in St. Louis, I never watch Worldwide Magazine.
I could never figure out how many people watch this show.
A lot of people.
And the broad scope of the people that watched the show, that's kind of amazing.
Yeah, it was everything from very wealthy people in Ladue down to the, the ghetto and everything in between.
I think a lot more people watched that show than actually fessed up to it. You know, it was a guilty indulgence, like a chocolate-covered cinnamon roll or something like that. But there wasn't and still isn't anything else like it on television. And as far as local access goes, you go to other cities and there's 24/7 in programming. Here, they're piping in public radio and scrolling the Dutch lesbian art fair bulletin boards, and that's it. There's no programs. So Pete's show really stood out because there wasn't anything else on. And I think it would have held its own in a city that had lots of local programming, too.
Even the people that hated the show watched it. They couldn't help it. And Parisi didn't mind because it all made for good, wholesome entertainment.
Tell Black Jesus stop all that goddamn lying with his crackhead ass. Hey, I love your show, but this is about crackhead Jesus. I thought all the stupid blacks who were living in L.A. on jury duty or having riots. You have to take this program off the air. You are editing tapes, editing what people are saying, extracting, subtracting what people are saying, and adding to create a scenario that does not exist. There are those of us who know what you're doing. This person that you have on called Black Jesus, we know this is just some kind of act that is being put on. He's probably doesn't, for reasons of his own, he's going along with it. You're going along with it. You're going to have to discontinue this because there are people that don't appreciate it.
Oh, look at this! A big screen. Hey, Black, could you picture that in your living room? Watching a big game on Sunday, huh? How about that, huh? You know, you don't have to work. They don't care if you've ever worked a day in your life. You got instant credit. Try Gingo.
As long as you don't miss a payment and then they come after you. They say no interest if you don't make a payment in 3 years, but you got to make your payment schedules, all right? And then they come after their stuff, and you and your mama too, even if she in the graveyard.
Black Jesus, if you washed your clothes, you'd probably want one of those, wouldn't you? One of those washers and dryers.
Hot point. They got a hot point in here.
You got a hot point too, don't you?
I sure do have a hot point, Peter. Peter, come here, baby. Guess what?
Tell them about your hot point.
I got a real hot point right here.
He wants to tell us all about his hot point.
Guess what?
Ooh.
I just make them as I see them. Guess what? That means I got 12 of them. I'm going to increase the number of you.
Yeah, honey.
How many we want?
As many as you want, baby.
Well, guess what? They're on the way.
Well, what's going to happen if you make love to a white woman and you die right after it?
We'll have a baby.
No, no, I don't know what he meant by this, but he said that if he makes love to a white woman and dies right after it, he's going to go to heaven. Look.
Pete loved to push the envelope, even to the point that some accused him of being a racist, a sexist, a bigot, and anything else under the sun.
There'll be no drugs, no alcohol, no guns, no knives.
Sister, can I talk to you for a second, please? Oh, okay, sorry. Sir, can I talk to you for a second, please? Thank you. You coming here for the convention, right?
Yes, I am.
Where you from?
I'm here in St. Louis.
Oh, you're from St. Louis?
Right.
Oh, okay. Have you seen people here from all over the country, I imagine?
Yeah, I've heard about it. There's quite a few people here.
Now, how long is this thing going on for?
Well, I think it's for 3 days. I think it's starting.
What are they talking about inside there? What's the general topics?
Well, I think the general topic is going to be is how black people can come together and help one another strive.
And there's a lot of oppressed people inside there?
I'm pretty sure they are.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm stupid, I don't know, but I imagine oppressed people couldn't afford to go to the convention. How is that? Is somebody else paying for their trip or something?
Well, I believe some of the individuals today may be able to enter in without paying today.
Well, how about if you're coming from another part of the country?
Well, you got a point there.
Well, I don't understand that. I mean, do these people represent the oppressed people, or are these the oppressed people?
They may represent the oppressed people.
And now we see a limousine out in front of the Oppressed People's Convention. I guess whoever's in that limousine mustn't be oppressed too much. That's a long limousine. I imagine it'd be hard to parallel park. You gotta say, things are getting a lot better for the oppressed people because they're driving around in limousines right now.
I think like a lot of people, sometimes it's hard if you live in society, if you live among people, you're going to get certain attitudes, especially about a knotty issue like race. And even though you may not want to be a racist, there's sometimes certain kind of notions that you're going to have that are kind of hard to get rid of. However, when it comes down to one person meeting another person, and not judging them or stereotyping them, when a black person meets a white person or a red person, you know, in this case Pete, I think he was always willing to take this person on their own terms and not necessarily to jump, you know, to conclusions or mistreat them on the basis of their race or their sex.
For one thing, Pete's best friend in the world was Watt Davis, a black man. Pete absolutely loved that man. I mean, he wasn't racist. He messed with everybody. He messed with black people. He messed with Jewish people. He was Italian. He messed with Italian people. He messed with white people. He messed with everybody he could mess with. So I totally disagree that he was any kind of a racist. If you're saying he was making fun of you, yeah, he was, but he made fun of everybody.
And everything.
And everything, even, you know, like things he shouldn't have made fun of, retarded people, and, you know, he went over the line a lot of times, you know, and he would make fun of himself. So I don't think you can really complain too much if the guy makes fun of himself just because he's making fun of you, you know, big deal.
It was equal opportunity.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And that was his very first show. That's what he said at the very end of the show was he doesn't discriminate against anyone. He insults everybody.
Hey, can we talk to some of the people that came to the Ellis Museum? That'd be nice, just for a second. Hi, what's your name?
Yes.
Excuse me? What's your name?
Donna.
Uh-huh, where are you from?
Donna.
What?
Donna.
Oh, okay, great, wonderful. Yeah, hold on, this lady wants to talk to us here. Yeah, hi, what's your name? Yeah, it's real nice. Well, they're not really wanting to talk right at the moment. How are you enjoying the Ellis Museum?
It may have been construed as Parisi degrading his community, but in his own way, he was trying to get people to lighten up and see how ridiculous life could be.
O.J. is found guilty. Can you believe that?
He had it written all over his face.
I'm telling you, it's written all over his face.
Pete, they're everywhere. Pete, listen to me.
Who's everywhere?
Pete, listen to me. Listen to me. They're everywhere. Wow, they're everywhere. Everywhere you go, they're there.
Who's
Pete,
there? Who's
listen
there?
to me.
Simpson trial, the Klan, I think, has become a lot more popular.
Pete did have his normal moments also. He had a personality that many clashed with, but still managed to have many quality friendships.
Pete Parisi was sort of like an evil genius. I loved him and I hated him. We had sort of a love and hate relationship. Excuse me, Damon. Damon, can I get a painkiller, please? I never wanted to go on to Pete because I thought he was kind of racist in some of his segments. Only later I understood that he made fun of everything and everybody. But Doug kept telling me, you gotta check out Pete. You really gotta check out Pete. And Pete and I always made fun of people who drink. And here I am, sitting in front of you, a hypocrite, drinking vodka. Pretty good, actually.
We are at Kirkwood High School, where we're going to see world-famous political leader and conservative Patrick Buchanan make a speech. Go, Pat, go. There's his motorcade pulling in. The excitement is building here at Kirkwood High School as the great one, the Messiah of millions, Pat Buchanan, is going to speak.
There's a bomb in there.
And now we have a version of Over There done the Pat Buchanan way. Over there, we want all the Mexicans to stay over there.
I will be eternally grateful for the tremendous victory you gave the Buchanan Brigades here in Missouri. Let's go all the way on Saturday. We know that the battle for the nomination has been won if all things continue as they are by Senator Dole. We know that and we accept that reality, as I said, in California. That is the reality of the Republican Party.
Who do you like better, Hitler or Mussolini?
Who is more, the Jews or blacks or Mexicans?
Who is worse, Jews or Mexicans?
Who do you like better? Do you like blacks or Jews better? What's the best thing about Hitler? We have something in this country called the First Amendment, which means I get to speak to these folks and they get to hear me. Find yourself another audience. Find yourself another crowd. Say good night. Say good night, young man.
Nazi is if you think this man's a Nazi.
What are you going to do?
We definitely clashed many times because we are tough-minded individuals, because we don't give a about what anybody thinks. We just said what we said. But Pete actually allowed me to say whatever I wanted on his show, just like he did it for himself. So I've never felt edited in a bad way. Only when he made fun of me, I really got pissed off. But anything that I wanted to say, he actually let me say it.
Hey, worldwide viewers, this is Radio Rich Pete. My friend Pete has come to visit me in the KSD studios. I'm doing my show, playing some Neil Young right now. And Pete is running for the board of directors for Double Helix. And I've known Pete for a very long time, more than 21 years. And I've worked with him. He's been my program director in the past. And he knows broadcasting, both radio and television, extremely well. And he's a man, as you know, that can get things done. And he certainly produces a popular television show, Worldwide Magazine. You're watching it right now. And I'm going to vote for him for board of directors. And when you get your ballot in the mail, if you haven't already, if you're members of Double Helix, vote for Pete Parisi for the board of directors of the Double Helix Corporation. And thanks.
Pete, complex guy, very interesting guy, and he was either you loved him or didn't kind of person. A lot of people never really knew him, at least in the way that I knew him. We had a much more smooth relationship. A lot of it had to do, I think, with especially after I moved away for 5 years and then got back. We talked a little when I was gone out of town. But when I came back and we resumed our relationship, he really liked that. You know, like I said, he got comfortable that I wasn't going to get mad at him and reject him for some reason, and so he relaxed with me. And I think that he very much liked the fact that he liked that part of our relationship. And so he was a creative guy, but a guy that had his demons. I think basically he lived a very chaotic but a very interesting life.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge down here. And if you're at home, don't try to come down here. It's really, there's too much going on already. The highways are backed up. 55 is just crazy. 44 is the same way. You can't get off the highway anywhere. It's packed, and everybody's here. Everybody from the shows here. Everybody from every show. Okay, here we go. Now here comes Pete. Lori, look, here he comes, you guys. There's Pete. And who's that? Now there is the Mad Russian is with him. The Mad Russian is the Grand Marshal today. Right. If anybody's wondering who the Grand Marshal is, it's the Mad Russian. He's there with Pete. How you doing, Pete? We're behind you. This is great. This is great. Oh, Pete looks good, doesn't he? He's got a suit on and everything. Top form. Looks really nice. Fantastic.
Yeah, and I just want to tell you about Pete. Pete just got shot, and everybody thinks I'm a big conspiracy holder on this, but I believe it was Double Helix that was responsible for this. Definitely Double Helix was responsible because the bullet just bounced off of Vince and shot Pete. My goodness, Pete was shot. My friend has been totally shot. I can't believe this. The bullet just hit Vince and this bounced off of Vince and hit Pete right in the face, and it went through his cheek and went through his head. Oh my God.
Okay. So, you've seen it? You watched it happen? Pete? Probably. How did this happen, Lori? How did this happen? I don't know. I think it came from the window up there. I don't know. he saw it. I heard he saw it. And all of a sudden, he was all AOC's all over. He was no, it didn't come from the window. I think it came from the grassy knoll over there. There's no hope. There's no hope. No hope for double helix. It's all over. It's all over. Worldwide magazine is all over. We can't be on TV anymore.
And of course, a lot of times too, I know that Pete deliberately knew he was stepping over a line and did it, you know, for the purposes of the show, which of course is not an uncommon thing. But a lot of times he was doing it and not always knew or was aware. So there's certain times I'd be watching this show and I'd be kind of going.
As controversial as Pete Parisi and Worldwide Magazine had become, he had become a local legend of sorts.
It's weird to think about. I mean, there was a golden age of television, you know, Milton Berle, Sid Caesar, and all those guys, and that lasted, you know, decades. There may have been a golden age of public access for about 2 years, and Pete was at the forefront of it. I don't know that there's much on there now. I mean, there are things on there that I'm sure are interesting and informative and important to the community. But there'll never be anything quite as out there as Worldwide Magazine.
Well, he's big on that percentage.
The high moments for the show include Pete winning Best of Show on a program called Access America, produced by Comedy Central and hosted by Fred Willard. Pete received a television set as his prize. Worldwide Magazine even managed to get close to Jerry Springer.
Thank you. Good. Hi, Jerry. I'm the Mad Russian. How you doing? Fine, thank you. Okay, I have $1 million. Stay here. Go ahead. Jerry, I have $1 million idea for you. Good. Have you ever thought about replacing the chairs you have on stage with those folding metal chairs? That would make a much better sound. And that's $1 million. Don't you think so? Yeah, okay. Send me your next idea. Okay, that may work. All right. Do you believe that such a tremendous success of your show is indicative of breakdown in civilization?
Of course not. No, it's, you know, our show is about outrageousness, and it's a good sign, because if what's on our show is outrageous, that means everything else is normal, and that's good.
Which casting agency do you use to get your guests?
God.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, these are, you know, they're people. They're human beings. Yeah.
Okay, we know that you've been to a whore before. Do you consider yourself a whore for ratings?
I've been to a what?
No, you've been to a whore before. Do you consider yourself a whore for ratings?
No, do you?
I don't know, I'm just asking you about your opinion of yourself.
I think I'm a good person.
I know you are. I know you are. I wasn't questioning that.
Good.
I wasn't questioning that, Jerry. See, also my listeners, my female listeners want to know, because I'm not a homo or anything. They want to know what's your penis size.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Is it really?
Do you have a license?
What do you think of Howard Stern, Jerry?
I think he's great.
Do you like Howard?
It's a cable show? Yeah.
No.
I think Howard's great.
Radio.
Yeah. I think Howard's great.
Thank you very much,
He's the
Jerry.
best there is.
I love you, Jerry. Jerry.
Parisi even got his own feature story, at the top of the fold of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch in 1997. But as soon as he reached the heights of local celebrity, things began to go downhill.
Oh, my winger! I am very happy. Happy as can be. All right, take a great goose with you. Come on. I want 2 beers. I'm gonna go for it. I want a copy of this tape. Amber. I need you to know I want a copy of the tape. I gotta see that. Okay. Take me down here to the bathroom because I gotta go pee. All right. Get in. Roll me over. All right, get in. All right. The first you get down there, the first you get your winger. Your pee-pee. You know how it feels when you gotta go pee, right? Yeah, tell me if I gotta go pee. Then get in. Don't think. Get in here. Get on in. Tell you. Okay. But yeah, get farther in, man. For you don't pop out. Okay. Oh, sorry.
It's okay, I like pain.
Come on, man. I believe in you, P.E.P. Do what? Get in. Do what?
Get in.
Okay. Get it farther in, man. Worldwide Magazine. Yeah, I'll put you on Playboy. Come on. Playboy.
Get in!
Okay. We ready? This smells like stale fucking beer.
Go in more. Go in more. You're gonna get in
Come
more.
on, man.
I'm
still
working
see
on it.
me. Shit. Go.
Ready?
Okay. No,
I'm
no,
not
get
ready.
farther in, man. Come on, get farther in. Get in. Come on. Come on.
Oh shit. Wait, he's. I think he's at the bathroom now.
Let's
go down.
In November of 1998, Parisi's close friend and cast member Tom Horner died in a house fire caused by a cigarette. Within that year, he also suffered a broken foot that kept him away from production of the show, which he got around by recycling and re-editing episodes. His juvenile diabetes, which was diagnosed early in his college years, was progressively worsening. He was legally blind without his glasses and was living off of disability payments. Around 1996, he met Linda Vaughn, and by 1999, he was living with her because he couldn't take care of himself on his own anymore. His demise was nearly complete with her addition.
Towards the end of Pete's life, I didn't see him nearly as much. He told me that the woman he was living with at the time, made it hard for that to happen. And so I didn't see him quite as often. And in fact, it came down to be, I said, you call me, when you're ready to go, when you want to get together, and I'll come see you. That was at the end.
Let me tell you something, Linda. I always tell people get on the show. We've been doing the show for a long time. And I always tell people to be themselves on the show. But in your case, I'm going to tell you, maybe you should be somebody else.
It was a very abusive relationship on both sides. I have to be fair about it. But she abused him more than he abused her. Because he was already full-blown diabetic. He was an invalid. So she would get drunk. She would pile her bed with all kinds of stuff. And Pete slept for the last several years in the easy chair. He wasn't even allowed in bed.
Are you really in here?
No, I'm not here.
What are you doing here?
Smile, look at me and smile.
I really don't have the camera.
Smile, look at me and smile.
Oh my God. Shame on you.
You finally get you on the show.
You are a bad boy.
You finally get you on the show. You're complaining about not being on the show enough, and you're finally going to make it on the show.
You're a wicked boy, too. I hope you know you're a wicked boy. Shame on you.
Perpetual twinning.
No!
Come on, everybody comes in
now. You think this is the Seymour? Peter, if you show this to anybody, I'm going to kill you.
As much as Pete tried to make things work, they weren't. Things once again took a turn for the worse in the fall of 2001.
Next message.
Yeah, Russian, things are getting real critical now. I have to move out real quick. It's really bad. It's like living hell. Does your landlord have an apartment I could get real quick? Please call me back and let me know. Don't call me back. She'll go crazy. Things are so horrible. You won't believe this. Thank you.
End of message.
Well, you just heard the message that Pete Parisi left me twice before we talked with him. It was a pretty desperate message. After I talked to him 2 days after the message, I was supposed to move him to Florida over Thanksgiving. And then I didn't hear anything about him. Allegedly, his girlfriend locked him up in a room, full-blown diabetic, with no food, insulin, no clothes, and no telephone. So he couldn't call anyone for help until he went into his first coma. I talked to him between first and second and third coma. He confirmed what happened to him.
Yeah, it was sad. You know, Brent and I went over to visit him in the hospital at St. Alexius, and he was, just to see him in that state was just so sad. The thing I remember the most, though, and this is great, you know, when he went over to see us, you know, we would tell him, hey, keep your head up, buddy, and keep hanging in there, we love you. It looked like he actually had a smile on his face.
He died January 19th, 2002. Definitely one of the biggest losses in my life. Speaking of that, Damon, another painkiller, please. Just talking about it just makes me want to kill the pain. Even though we used to make fun of Linda, who would get really smashed and do wild things to Pete. Well, thank you, sir. But I think when I get drunk, it just calms my pain down. And I don't really go around raising hell or anything else. You could probably already hear a slur in my speech.
The death of Parisi stirred up as much controversy and debate as he did when he was alive. Was he killed? Did he just not take care of himself? Did we lose a genius?
I think the guy was a genius. Flawed, yes, we all are. But he was definitely a genius.
But I miss Pete, and I miss the idea of Pete. Just the idea that there's somebody like that out there fighting that fight, doing what he did, even though sometimes it made your skin crawl. You know, he was out there and doing it, and I miss him.
And well, it makes me sad that he's no longer with us, because there aren't colorful characters like that to take his place. And you go to other cities and you could point to all kinds of crazy people. And sure, we've got the Schweigingle guys and Becky and Wanda, but it's just not the same thing. And I think there's going to be a real void of that type of person in town, because he was the only one.
Parisi left a lasting impact on the city of St. Louis and its inhabitants that watched his program. He didn't ask to be liked. He just wanted you to watch. He wanted you to hear his message loud and clear. He told people close to him that he would have liked to have gone farther. But would it have been the same? Would any network let a man speak his mind so freely? He was all about poking fun at a world that takes itself too seriously and lambasting the fat cats that rule it. There is some sentiment in St. Louis that what he achieved is worth saving. Jeff Daniel of the Post-Dispatch has suggested that Parisi's worldwide magazine programs should be stored in the archives of the St. Louis Historical Society. Emmett McAuliffe of KMOX Radio points to Parisi's programs as vehicles to help tell our children about an unusual facet of St. Louis in an earlier time. Parisi should at least be commended for speaking his mind and being completely fearless about it. Hell, maybe even his own star on the local Walk of Fame. There won't be another Pete Parisi, but it wouldn't hurt to see more like him.
Well, all things come to an end. Good things, bad things, everything, including this program. We hope you enjoyed our look back.
I started a joke which started the whole world crying. Oh, but I didn't see what's on me.
That's very important for the documentary. We were never dealers, we were just smokers.
Which started the whole world laughing. How we fight.
It's kind of like, wow, it's, I don't know how to explain it, it's just, hold everything.
And I looked at the skies, running my hand over my...
I still would like to say that I'm at Riddle's and I'm having wonderful mushroom stuffed with crawfish. Yum, yum.
Till I finally died, which started the whole world living. Oh, if I'd only seen that the joke was on me. That the joke